Greetings fellow purveyors of plastic people, and welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. And I've got to say, I'm more than a little excited about today's offering, which at my age is no small achievement, might I add. Yes folks, it is the highly anticipated 66 Riddler double pack, aka Frank Gorshin. Brought to us by Mars Toys, who seem completely incapable of dropping the ball as far as unlicensed Batman figures go anyway. So, usual format folks, box, accessories, figures, then showcase at the end, and fair warning, I make no apologies for the runtime of this review, we are looking at two figures after all. But before we dive in, I'd like to send the usual shout out to everyone who supported Go Figure, and please drop a like on this review as it helps other people find the channel. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and mash that bell notification icon so you don't miss any of the reviews, tours, showcases and specials that we've got coming up. Christ on a bike, I swear, that's going to be chiseled into my headstone, I say it so often. Moving swiftly on, let's take a quick look at the box. And a big box it is too, as you'd expect, being a double pack. And it's that usual sort of Mars story design. It's very, very simple. It's a shoebox design, decent stock card, but yeah, very, very basic, but very, very bold. What you've got on the front here is this stylized picture of the Riddler, Frank Gorshin, and you've got all these question marks going on in the background. It says Enigma villain across the bottom, obviously an unlicensed figure, 1/6 scale collectible figure across the bottom, and that's pretty much it, but it's very bold, very effective, and around the sides just says 1/6 scale collectible figure. Same thing on the right hand side. Let's take a look at the bottom. Just a raft of question marks on the bottom there, and it's the same story on the top as well. Around the back you've got a couple of shots of each of the figures. There's the suited version, the spandex suit version, and down the bottom here in this rather nice purple colour block section, there's all the usual warnings and credits and so on. Don't piss these figures off or they may confound you with their conundrums. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that the seals are still intact on this boy, just come through the door. Brand new figure to me, so avoid your discovery, but I have high expectations, as I mentioned. Let's just pop these seals open on camera and take a quick look inside and see what you get when you open this box up. Just put that turntable to one side. Let's lift off this cover and have a look. And on the inside, straight away, you are greeted with this slipcover with a huge question mark on it. Really nicely done, slightly different shape to the rest of the box, but looks very good. And you take that off, and what have we got underneath? It's the two figures. It looks like there's a couple of clam trays there. You've got the spandex version on the left, suited version on the right, and I would assume underneath here are all the multitude of accessories that come with the figure. So, without further ado, let's get those accessories out, let's dive down onto the table and have a look at everything you get with these two figures. Okay folks, so accessories out, and it's fair to say that Mars Toys have skimped on the accessories like they always do. No, enough of the sarcasm, it is unbecoming. There are two figures here, but even though you're taking that into account, there's still a huge amount of accessories to go out here. Really fantastic to see. And a lesson to other companies out there who shall remain nameless, but Sideshow, you're one of them. This is how you do accessories, and we do like accessories, so yeah, please make note. We will start with the hands as we always do, and I've got to say, you know me and my strange hand thing, and I think Mr. Go Figure has had a handgasm, if there is such a thing. We are looking at 32 hands in total. It is all my Christmases and birthdays come at once. You've got 16 hands for each figure. There's an open palm pair on both of the figures, which we'll take a look at when we bring the figures out. But yeah, they really, really have gone to town. You've got the green gloved hands for the suited version, and obviously the purple gloved hands for the spandex suited version. Can't look at all of them, there's way too many to look at here, but we'll just grab a couple at random. And you've got all manner of things going on here. You've got hands for the spray cans, you've got gesturing hands, open palm hands, fisted hands, gripping hands for any one of the multitude of accessories. But yeah, we'll have a quick look at this one. And the sculpt here is really, really nice. You've got creasing in there, you've got all the creases in the palm there. The seams have been sculpted in. You've got those lines on the back of the hands there. Really, really good job here from Mars Toys replicating the gloves, even down to the little skin tone section there, which is peeking through that hole towards the wrist there. Creasing in the wrist, let's do the flexibility test. Yeah, you're looking at a medium here, so shouldn't be any need for hair dryer or hot water. You've got pointing finger hands. You've got a thumbs up hand. Literally, just hundreds to go at here. Well, I say 132 to be exact, but there are so many different hands here. This is fantastic to see. The sculpt on the green hands is of the same high standards to replicate that gloved look, that material look. Just really well done, yeah, just a whole boatload to go at. Brilliant to see. As I say, I'm not going to look at all of them, but yeah, they're all the same high standard. Paint applications and sculpt, great on all of them. So we're off to a really, really good start here. Let's put all these hands to one side and take a look at what else you get. Now, where to begin? We'll get the mundane stuff out of the way. You get some spare buttons. Now, always nice to see. Now, I'm not sure whether these are for shirt, jacket, what portion of the figure, but we know these come off as collectors. So if they do, dab a crazy glue on the back and you can replace them. So nice inclusion from Mars Toys. What else? I don't know where to begin. Let's take a look at these. I do like these. You've got the boxing shorts and the boxing gloves. Now, I believe these come from the episode Ring Around the Riddler, which I think was the first episode in the 66 TV series, unless I am seriously mistaken, where Riddler dukes it out in the ring with the Cape Crusader. But yeah, these shorts are really nicely done. They're a sort of a nylon material, super shiny. I think they're nylon. I'm not sure. No, there's no give in them, so they're not spandex. But yeah, super shiny nylon. Nice stitch work on there. We've even put the Everlast symbol on the waist there, which has been stitched in. Then you've got this really shiny blue flash down the side of the shorts. Elasticated waist, which is nice to see, and overall just really, really well done, well stitched and well put together. Cracking inclusion there. And to go with the boxing shorts, you get the boxing gloves, sculpted plastic, pegged directly into the arms themselves. Nice sculpt going on here to replicate leather. There's a lot of leather texturing in that sculpt there, and the paint applications are nice and shiny. You've got sculpted in lacing down the front of the glove itself, and these highlights or these flashes on the wrist section as well, which is creased. And just overall, they are really, really nicely done and very, very convincing as boxing gloves. So yeah, that's the boxing gloves and the shorts. What else do you get? You get a pair of handcuffs, bat handcuffs. The cuff itself is sculpted plastic, and it's on that ratcheted system that collectors have come to recognise, so you can put them on and off the figure. Connected by a metal chain, which is nice to see. Yeah, that's cold to the touch. Nice addition. Pair of back cuffs. What else? You get the crucifix. Now, I believe that this is from the first episode as well, High Diddle Riddle, where he takes Batman to court, I believe. But yeah, it's all one piece of sculpted plastic, nicely done. The detailing is good. It's been given this sort of off gold, old gold paint application, and the sculpt and paint applications are just really good and really screen accurate and on point. Nice inclusion as well. What else? I'm trying to zip through these quickly because there is so much to go at here. You get a set of binoculars. Now, I believe this is from the 66 movie. Where Riddler was flying around on Penguin's flying umbrella, and all one piece of sculpted plastic, nicely done. You've got this the green question mark sort of on the apex there, where the two sections join together. The binoculars themselves are articulated, so they do move. You've got gold paint applications to highlight the end of the lenses there and on the main body. Probably the only complaint here is the actual lenses themselves. They could have done with being clear plastic inserts in the ends here, or maybe a paint application to give them that glass look. So they're a bit matte. But overall, once again, another nice inclusion there from Mars Toys, and very effective pair of binoculars, if a little lacking in the lens department. Two spray cans with asymmetrical colouring, all made out of plastic. Got their specific hands, as we just looked at there, so you can have one or both being held at any one time. And yeah, just very, very simple, sculpted plastic, white paint applications and red paint applications. But yeah, another nice inclusion there from Mars Toys. So you get two of those. You get his cane. Now, quite simply done this. It's just sculpted plastic, and I'm not sure whether this has even got a paint application or whether it's just been sculpted in this green plastic. Can't really see a paint application on there, but yeah, it's screen accurate. It's sturdy. There's not a lot of flex in there. I think when you get walking sticks and the like, I found this with. I think it was one of the Joker figures that had a stick, and it did not want to support the figure itself if you're having a leaning on it. But I think this one will. It's nice solid plastic, and it's got that question mark on the end there. So yeah, another nice inclusion. You also get and this made me smile. This put a smile on my face. This one. This is the, I believe this is from the episode Death in Slow Motion, and it is the whipped sleeping cream pie with nuts. Great little inclusion here. You've got what looks like whipped cream across the top there with a dash of chocolate, and it's in a pie dish, and I think that's just another cracking little inclusion there from Mars Toys. They could have given us the explosive eclairs as well to go with it. That would have been really nice, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's your sleeping cream whipped pie. You get this book. Now, I am hazarding a guess that this book comes from the episode where he takes Batman to court and tries to sue him. And this is a book of the law. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but that's a random stab in the dark. And it's just a 6-scale book. Not an awful lot going on. It's an attempt to weather it on the front there. It's a little bit on the basic side. There is an attempt at putting some kind of lettering on the spine there, but it's indistinct. You can't read it. Pages are picked out on the spine and on the sides. And overall, yeah, pretty nicely done, if a little on the basic side. So yeah, that's your book. What else? Let's take a look at the weapons. Comes with a handgun and the Thompson machine gun. The handgun itself, it's quite a simple sculpt, quite basic paint applications, but you've got some brown paint on the handle there. No real attempt at weathering on this or any dry brushing, but it's pretty effective. There's no cocking action or removable magazine here. And obviously it's got the flame coming out of the cartridge ejection port because it wasn't actually a gun after all. It was a lighter. But yeah, nice inclusion. That is quite delicate. Well painted. You've got some yellows, oranges and reds in the flame there. You can get that close enough into camera so you can see it. So yeah, a good replication of the lighter stroke pistol. You get Thompson submachine gun and once again, very nicely done. The wood effect, the grain wood effect on the stock there, on the handle and underneath the barrel are not sculpted in, that's painted on, but it's pretty effective. The body of the gun itself and the barrel at the top have been given this silver paint application with what looks like some silver dry brushing. Got the metallic paint application with some silver dry brushing on top to give it that full metallic look. And overall, yeah, very, very effective. No removable magazine or anything like that or cocking action, but overall pretty good job there from Mars Toys. What you do get with it, because it actually wasn't a functioning Thompson submachine gun, it was actually a laser gun, and you get this sort of replication of a laser beam in thin red plastic, which simply slots in the end of your machine gun like so. And I have noticed this. I noticed this while I was taking them out. Mine is a little bit off kilter, as you can probably see there. It's not quite parallel to the barrel of the gun. It feels like maybe there's something inside there which is just catching that sort of laser effect, but possibly a bit of hot water and maybe a hairdryer or something like that, and I'll be able to fix that. But yeah, slightly bent laser. So that's the machine gun. You get its detonator. Very small piece, very, very simple. One piece of sculpted plastic with this sort of silver string coming out the bottom, and a working plunger on the top. So if you're wanting to have him holding that, and then you can trail this off in the display as well. So yeah, detonator. You also get, now this, I've got to say, I am really impressed with this, and this would have been a great inclusion with their 66 Cesar Romero Joker figure as well, because he comes with a dehydrator. But this is the entire dehydrated Security Council, and I've got to say I'm really, really impressed with what Mars Toys have done here. Lesser companies would have simply sculpted this all as one piece of plastic and possibly painted the inside of these test tubes, but not Mars Toys. What they've done here is each of these test tubes is individually removable, And inside, if the camera's picking that up, you have coloured sand, which actually moves around. So I'm super impressed with that. It's only a small thing, but it really shows Mars Toys' attention to detail there. So yeah, that's your dehydrated security council. You get his hat. Now, all one piece of sculpted plastic this. The sculpt is nice to give it that material look. Very simple black hat with the green question mark sculpted into the front there. It does come with a ribbon, this hat, which is a real ribbon, which for some reason in my version was packed separately. It was sort of floating around inside the clamshell. But yeah, overall, it looks screen accurate. The proportions, the size, the sculpt, and the paintwork, all very good. And we'll keep that here actually, along with the mask, for when we take a look at that spare head sculpt. The mask itself is the right colour. It's that sort of pinky purple colour. Elastic at the back there. What you've got on the front here, and this material for the front of the mask is not dissimilar to, how can I describe this? Collectors will know the material that they use for a lot of ties these days. It's sort of that treated material, so it keeps its shape. It's not dissimilar to that. It's more of a man-made fibre, but we'll take a look at how it works on the head sculpt. But yeah, very simple, but the screen accuracy is there and the colour's right. So that's the mask. And I was going to say last but not least, but we're not last but not least yet. We've got head sculpt to look at. We get two bases, obviously, with this figure, because you've got two figures. Now, they're identical, so we'll only take a look at one of them. And it's the usual Mars Toys story here. It's this sort of off-hexagonal base. One piece of plastic, well, two pieces of plastic slotted together. No feet on the bottom. Maybe it would have been nice to see some feet on here to prevent slippage. But it's pretty much what we've come to know and love from Mars Toys. What you've got on the top here is a sticker, and it's got that sort of texture to it, which is really nice. These green areas are smooth. The 66 bat symbol is slightly rougher. This one, as you can see, is perhaps bubbling up a little bit. They both are. But this is sort of common with these bases, and just a little bit of pressure on there, and you can iron out any air bubbles that might be underneath there. But overall, yeah, very, very bold, very, very effective indeed. On the front, as per usual, you have a cold to the touch metal etched nameplate, and it says Riddler on there. And they both come with standard issue Mars Toys crotch grabbers, which simply slot into the back. And if this one wants to work on camera, sometimes first time, as we all know, they are a little bit uncooperative, but there we go, it's in. Yeah, the catch cup itself has got a little bit of an extension on it, so hopefully both figures will sit pretty centrally on those bases. So that's about the two bases. And finally, what you do get is the spare head sculpt. Now, 3 head sculpts in total with this figure. This is, we'll look at the other two when we bring the other two figures out, but I thought we'd take a look at this one separately. Now, this is the neutral head sculpt, and probably I'm going to say straight away my least favourite of the 3. Now, I'm going to say from the get-go here, I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I was a bit concerned when I saw the first of all, the pre-production and then the actual production shots of this head sculpt. I was a little concerned about the lightness and the paint applications. I've got to say, in hand, it actually looks a lot better than some of the photographs that I've seen. Is that Frank Gorshin? Absolutely. Is it 100% Frank Gorshin? No, now, therein lies the rub. I don't think it is. I think it's very, very good. But is it 100%? Not for me, no. This is completely subjective in my opinion, so don't hang me out to dry on this one. The sculpt itself is pretty good, it is. There's no denying it. And the paint applications are very good. We've got sculpted in veins around the eyes there. The eyebrows are really well done. The eyes are nice and glassy. There's texturing on the neck here if the camera's catching this. You've got vein work that's been painted in. You've got creasing around the back of the neck. The hair is well done, if not the best I've ever seen, but it's pretty good. There are some individual strands picked out there. Obviously, you've got that high hairline that Frank Gorshin was receding. You've got creasing in the forehead there. It's been feathered out, the paint applications towards the hairline, which gives it that sense of realism. and the skin has got imperfections in there, and there's a 5 o'clock shadow as well. Excuse me. But yeah, I think paint applications and sculpt are very good, but I'm going to reserve judgment until we take a look at the other two. But I think that is a very, very good head sculpt, but not perfect in my opinion. So that's the spare head sculpt. So that's all the accessories, folks. So without further ado, let's bring out the two versions of the Riddler, get them onto these stands, get them onto the turntable, and have a close-up look at them. Okay folks, so here they are. It's the two Riddlers, straight out of the box, straight onto the stands and straight onto the turntable. And first impressions. Well, I've got to say, first impressions are very, very good indeed. I am loving these outfits. The proportions look absolutely on point to me. The outfits look completely screen accurate. Tailoring looks very, very good, but we'll take a closer look at that. And I've got to say, straight off the bat, I am preferring these two head sculpts immediately. They are a lot more Frank Gorshin Riddler for me than that neutral head sculpt. But it's not just down to the expression, but we'll cover that a little bit later. So let's stop them from spinning and take a close-up look at them individually and see what Mars Toys are giving us here. We'll stop them from spinning, as I mentioned. Let's get them both front and centre. And which one shall we start with? Let's go with the spandex suit Riddler. Probably the most iconic look here. And yeah, straight away, the proportions look absolutely nailed on. The colours look right. Everything looks on point. But we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. Straight away, these feet have got these plastic sculpted slippers on. Now, you might be forgiven for thinking he's wearing ladies' shoes, but these are actually genuinely what Frank Gorshin wore in the TV show. Now, they're sculpted plastic. There's no real detailing on here. They're just sort of a slip-on affair. Nothing on the soles or anything like that. But the colour is screen accurate, slightly darker olive green to the rest of the suit, and they do come off. They are removable. And this spandex suit is continued right the way down the figure, which is great to see. Lesser companies wouldn't have done that, and that would have caused the suit to ride up and so on. The ankle joint itself, you've got a decent amount of movement in there. I'm assuming that's pegged in, possibly a dumbbell double peg. I'm not 100% certain, and I'm not going to open this spandex suit up to check. But yeah, you've got forward movement, lateral movement, side to side, so posability's there. Inevitably, you're going to get some creasing at this ankle joint because of the nature of the suit. But you know, as I say, that is inevitable with this kind of thing. But I don't think it detracts from the figure too much. Moving up, the body is, as I say, is on proportion. Now, this spandex suit, this feels to me like it's a better quality than the Hot Toys Batman and Robin. Now, I don't own the Mars Toys, or was it Saturn Toys take on the Dynamic Duo. I just have the Hot Toys version, and I can attest to the fact that the spandex used in those figures was very, very thin indeed. This feels a lot more solid, a lot thicker, and a lot sturdier. However, with all spandex suits, I would issue a warning. If you have chips or bits on your fingers, or maybe even bits of burrs on your skin or something like that, be super careful when handling these figures, because this stuff, even though this is thicker, this material can pull and snag really, really easily. I'm not wearing gloves here. If you do suffer sort of with that kind of thing with your skin, maybe gloves is a good idea. But yeah, overall it does feel a much better quality. The colour is absolutely on point. That colour is matched great. Down the side of the legs here, you've got these question marks all the way down the leg. Once again, screen accurate. Not quite sure how Mars Toys have done this. Is it screen printed? It's some form of adhesion to the actual suit itself, but there's no distortion in there, and that looks really, really good. We'll check the articulation at the knee here. Now you're going to get some bunching here. This is inevitable, but no, there's no distortion with those question marks when you bend that knee, and this knee will go all the way back, right the way back. That's a great amount of extension. I think there's a double joint there at the knee. One thing straight away, this knee is quite loose. I've noticed this straight out of the box. And as well, I've got to say, the hip joint at the top here There is a swivel there going on, but this is a little loose as well. Now, I have heard on the grapevine from other collectors that they've been getting theirs with loose legs as well. And yeah, these legs, this right leg is fine. It's this left leg that's a little bit, as you can see here, it's a little bit too much give there, a little bit loose. As is that knee joint. That knee joint is very loose indeed. So yeah, perhaps not the best body in the world, or maybe this is a QC issue, but yeah, we'll get to that when we round up at the end. This knee joint, slightly stiffer, but still on the loose side as well. So moving up, that spandex suit goes into these pants on the outside here. Slightly different shade of green, same material though, and it's stitched in. The stitch work is really, really nice here around the edges. There's no loose threads. It's not incongruous. The scaling is right. So overall, yeah, the stitch work on this is really good. Then you get up to this cummerbund around his middle. Once again, that is screen accurate. The colour is right. I believe this is made out of a soft plastic. And attaches at the back there with this sort of lace-up affair thing going on the back with this pink string going through it. Once again, this is screen accurate as well. The stitch work in the soft plastic is really nice with that pink stitching. The scaling is right, and overall, yeah, that's absolutely on point. The colour is right, the shape is right, and yeah, a very good job they've made of it here. The legs themselves, and we'll test the articulation on these legs now. On the leg spread, you're going to get a decent amount of leg spread here because it's a spandex suit, so there's a lot of give in it. And you can see here as well. Now, when the right leg is out, it stays in position. When the left leg is moved out, it clicks back into place. So yeah, that's not very good, unfortunately. A bit disappointing this. I had high expectations this, and my experience in Mars Toys is that their bodies are very good, but here, yeah, this one not so good. Moving up. Now the body itself is padded, which I can see why they've done this to get the right proportions for Frank Gorshin, and it's padded all the way down the arms, it's padded across the abdomen section, it's padded up to the shoulders are padded themselves, in fact the whole upper body here, and actually right down to the waist area is all padded. And I think that helps as well when you're putting a spandex suit on, because you don't want the spandex suit highlighting all the areas where the joins are in the body underneath. So and it kills two birds with one stone. It gives you the right proportions and it smooths out the spandex suit. So yeah, a good choice there from Mars Toys. I would say straight out of the box, it looks like this side is pulling a little bit more on this spandex suit because the creasing into this left armpit is a lot more substantial than on the right hand side, and I'm not sure why that is. Is that the stitch work? Is it the way it's falling? Can I futz that out? Possibly. We'll take a look at that between takes. But yeah, there's a little bit of pulling going on this side, which is a bit incongruous. But yeah, there's a little bit of sort of bunching around the abdomen area, but overall I think he's done a cracking job here. Let's check the articulation on the waist. There is a twist at the waist there, so that's good for posing. Obviously you are going to get some pulling of this suit when you pose it. There's a bit of an ab crunch going on there. You can lean back. There's a really good backwards lean here. That's great to see. For those manic posers, not so much forward. The arms themselves, let's check those out. Yeah, butterfly joint, and yeah, you've got a full range of motion there. It feels ratcheted to me. There's a bit of a spring back going on here, but I think that's probably the suit. The elbow joint, and these arms are padded all the way down. In fact, no, they're only padded down to the elbow. That's good to see, because it could have hindered the articulation of the arm here, but the arm itself will go right the way up. So yeah, that's fantastic to see as well. The suit itself, and also this is something I noticed straight away, you've got these little question marks going around the wrist as well, which I'm assuming have been printed on in the same way as the ones on the leg. But what Mars Toys have done here, and I'll see if I can't get this hand off, as you can see here, they've actually hooked the spandex suit. It looks like, yeah, that actual padding does go all the way down the arms. But they've hooked the spandex over, so when you reattach this hand, it will hold the spandex suit in place. I've actually not attached it properly. I didn't tuck that back in. So when you do extend that arm, there's no run-up of the arm section there of the suit, so exposing the body underneath. So yeah, overall, I think the suit is great on this one. I think the colours are right, the proportions are right. I love the way they've done the outfit, and I think the materials they've used are great. I just think this is let down by this body, unfortunately. This right leg with its spring back and loose problem, yeah, is not so good. But let's take a look at this head sculpt. Now, this is how can I put this? One of the two mad head sculpts. This is the expressions that Frank Gorshin used to pull, and I think this one is absolutely on point. I am loving this one. I think it's far better, and actually in between takes I was looking at the other head sculpt, this one, the neutral one, and it sort of started to dawn on me why I don't think this one is as accurate in its sculpting. And I think on closer inspection the eyes are slightly closer together on this one, and they're slightly too wide. And also as well, and part of this is down to the expression he's pulling on this head sculpt, because obviously he's got his mouth open, which extends the jaw and distends the face a little bit. But on this one, I think he's a little bit too weighty around the cheek area here. And I think had those eyes been ever so slightly further apart and a little bit of weight taken off these cheeks, I think this neutral one would have been more accurate. But that's my personal taste. I'm sure people will disagree with me, and that's fine. Yeah, I am loving this particular head sculpt. Let's just try it with mask on, because we didn't do that in the accessories section. Now, to get the mask on, it's a relatively simple affair. It's just elasticated, so you slot it over the top here, he said confidently. Let me just get my other hand involved here so we can get this thing on, and it literally just slides over the top. Now, I think, I mean, really it's entirely up to you, but I think mask on, mask off, that is absolutely Frank Gorshin as the Riddler. I mean, a lot of the time in the TV show and in the movie as well, he didn't have the mask over his eyes, it was around his neck, and you can go for that look as well if you want to, but I think mask on or mask off, these other two head sculpts are absolutely nailed on. I think the paint applications on this head sculpt are just as good as the other one. Those teeth are beautifully done. They're pearly and white with great paint applications. There's a sculpted in tongue there, which has got wet look paint applications. The creasing on the face is great. Still got that 5 o'clock shadow. Still got that vein work. Still got that creasing around the back there, around the neck, and that creasing in the forehead. The hair is done really well, looking a little bit of dust there, but there is a slight visible seam line here, but really it's not a deal breaker, I think. And also you get this little wristwatch. Didn't cover that in the accessories, but it's actually on the figure when it comes out of the box. But yeah, you get his wristwatch, and that is very nicely sculpted as well, and you can alter that. It's got a little clasp on there, and you can alter that if you want to for it to sit a bit tighter. So yeah, that's the spandex suit version. Let's pop him back on his stand and take a look at the three-piece suit version. Now, start at the bottom as well and work our way up on this one. Sculpted shoes, all plastic, great to see. Sculpted in laces there. There's some stitchwork detailing on this shoe. It's got a sole on the bottom there, and there's some weathering as well. That's nice to see. It's been weathered a little bit as well. Now, moving up, before we move up, you get socks as well. It's got that slightly incongruous thing going on, where the ankle doesn't actually quite meet the end of the shoe. But I mean, unless you've got him in a super dynamic pose with his legs akimbo, you're not going to notice that. But good to see that they put a black sock on there. Now, the suit itself, most certainly the colour is right. The colour is on point. The fall looks fantastic. The proportions look nailed on. It's covered in these obviously these black question marks, and now don't ask me the printing method they've used here, but it works. They're all uniform, they're all the same colour. The stitch work on this suit is really nice. There are no threads hanging down. As you can see, the seams are very, very well done. The fall is nice. Now the material itself, I'm not 100% certain what we're looking at here. It feels like a cotton material. But it's got a shine to it, a slight shine to it. Could be a brushed cotton, could be a man-made fibre. I am no textile expert, but I know it looks good. Let's check the articulation of these knees. These knees are better than the knees on on the spandex suit version. You've got that double bend again. I'm assuming they're using the same body here between both figures, only with this one slightly padded. So yeah, you've got that double bend going on, a slight squeak, and straight away, yeah, that's as you can see there, I'm moving that with one finger. That's a little on the loose side as well. Perhaps, I mean, it's not falling back, but that probably wouldn't support his weight when freestanding. So yeah, a little bit of a loose leg issue there. Let's try this side. Now that's far better. That's a lot more what you'd expect, the kind of resistance and tolerance there. But yeah, that left leg, not good. That's a present toys problem, shall we say. As regulars to the channel will know, I have been plagued recently with third-party issues, particularly with present toys, with their legs being loose, and it looks like this one's got the same issue, unfortunately. But moving up, the suit itself, that material is continued in the jacket, and you've got snaps on the front here. Let's just open these up. I hate snaps, can't stand those bloody things, they drive me up the wall. But I'm going to try and open these on camera. They're risky, shall we say. They risk breaking, and if you break them, then they're a nightmare to replace. And I'm trying to get my fingernail in between here. And also as well, they're stitched onto the material, and if you put any kind of pressure or too much pressure when trying to open one of these up, you can actually make it come free of the material itself. And once again, once it's loose, you are going to have a nightmare replacing it. I think I've got my fingernail in there. It is not wanting to come off this one. Absolutely stuck fast. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can't. No, that is not going to open, and I do not want to damage this suit. Oh, there we go. Got it. Yeah, snaps. I was so impressed recently when I saw the John Wick figure from Hot Toys, where they had magnets, super thin magnets, which hug the body, so the suit kept its shape. You didn't have this issue of what can happen with snaps. And you know, over time, I would avoid where snaps are involved, swapping out outfits sometimes, simply because of those issues that I just mentioned. But the jacket itself is beautifully tailored, I have to say. Proportions are right, the cut is right, the finish is really nice. No working pockets here, but the stitch work and the inside as well. It's got this beautiful lining here, man-made fabric, this sort of blue and green patterned effect on the inside. We'll open this up a little bit. I'm not going to take his coat off at this point, but underneath you've got that waistcoat in the same material, that vest. Once again, it looks like there are snaps on there. I am not going to even attempt that. It looks like there's one that corresponds to each button. That is a accident waiting to happen, in my opinion. But looking around the back there, yeah, that lining material from the jacket is continued as the back of the waistcoat as well, so that's nice to see. Coming up, you have the black cotton collared shirt. Let's get right in close for this now. The stitch work on that looks really, really good. I am very impressed with that. It's just a simple black collared shirt, but yeah, the stitch work is very, very good. Then you've got this super shiny tie underneath it. Once again, I don't think you're going to need. I mean, ties as well can be the bane of my life, along with these snaps. But I think what they've done here is really good. I think that knot, that Windsor knot, might actually be affixed into place on the collar itself. So hopefully you're going to have the minimum amount of futzing going, if any at all. To be honest with you, it looks like that's going to stay in place really nicely. And then you've got that question mark tie pin as well. That's sculpted onto the front. I'm assuming that's stuck onto the front of the tie, which is really great and nicely done. Take a look around the bag. Yeah, same high level of stitch work on here, picked up a bit of dust. Let's check the articulation in these arms now. I'm assuming we're going to be looking at the same range of motion as the spandex. Yeah, we've got a butterfly joint there at the shoulder, there's a bicep swivel going on, and we've got a double joint there at the arm, which means you can bring those hands right up to his face. So the dynamic posing is not going to be an issue. I've got to say, these arms as well, I know that don't have any jankiness at all to them. Unfortunately, not like this leg, which is, yeah, a little on the limp side, shall we say. So let's take a look at this other head sculpt now. I don't know which I prefer, to be honest with you. Is it this one or is it that one? This is the sort of more goofy, insane, off the wall one. They both are, but I think they're both great. This one probably is good for actually posing off at one side, maybe, or ever so slightly back. But you've got him looking down and to the right with that manic expression, with his mouth slightly curled up at one side. Great sculpted in teeth there, as with the other head sculpt. 5 o'clock shadow again, the crow's feet, the furrowing on the brow. Paint applications are all great, pretty much identical to the other two. And the hair, once again, very, very well done. I like how these eyes are not quite symmetrical, because that manic look that Frank Gorshin could produce is really replicated well there. Eyebrows are really nicely done as well. They're all fixed neck head sculpts, and they simply swap out by pulling them out. This one is a little on the loose side, I've got to say, as with the leg. As you can see here, it's moving very, very easily. I mean, I'm not one for super tight head sculpts. I mean, it's not going to impact the performance of the figure. But yeah, that is a little on the loose side, but you've got a full range of motion going on here. I mean, you can literally go 360 with this head sculpt. I'm not going, oh, why not? Let's do it. Yeah, you can go a complete 360 on that. Let's check whether you can do that with the other one. Which is going to be interesting, considering that will do a complete 360 as well. So as far as fixed neck head sculpts go, you're going to have no problems getting the angle and the lean that you want on the head. So there you have it, folks. That is the two Riddler figures, courtesy of Mars Toys. I think before we go in for final thoughts on these two, I think we need to bring out some of their associates, shall we say. So cut to the other guy. Okay, folks, so the gang's all here, and I couldn't resist putting the shorts and boxing gloves on the spandex version. I just think it looks hilarious. So yeah, final thoughts. Well, as you can see, they display amazingly well together. And as I mentioned at the top there, this isn't the Mars Toys versions of the Cape Crusader and Robin. This is the Hot Toys version, but still, I think they just all work incredibly well together. I think they look stunning. I really, really do. But it's time for a verdict on Mars Toys Riddler Double Pack. Difficult one, this. Really, really. I don't think I've ever had a harder decision to make regarding scoring in a long, long time on the channel. In fact, I can't remember when it was this difficult. Regulars to the channel will know, and those who've seen my review of Mars Toys 66 Joker, I think I gave this a 10. I'm pretty certain I gave this a 10. And I can't do that for these two, unfortunately. I think they're amazing. I think the proportions, absolutely spot on. The outfits, the tailoring, are wonderful. The accessories, as with all Mars Toys figures, are absolutely nailed on quantity and the quality. But they're let down by a couple of niggly things. And first of all, it's those bodies, obviously. QC issues, maybe it's whether Mars Toys make their own bodies or source from another company, I don't know. But yeah, we've got janky legs going on here, we've got janky arms going on, which I didn't have with the Riddler, the Joker figure, and unfortunately that's going to affect the score. I did get to the bottom of that pulling under the left arm of the spandex figure, and unfortunately there's a slight error in the stitch work underneath his arm, which is causing that pulling. I'm going to try and futz that back into place somehow following this review. But yeah, it's a couple of little niggly things, and a personal thing as well. Now, to me, I think these two head sculpts are phenomenal. I'm not so keen on the neutral one, as we talked about, but I don't think that they're quite as good as the Cesar Romero Joker. They're very, very, very good, but not quite as good as this one. So I mean, score out of 10, as I said, this is painful for me, it really is, but a score out of 10, I'm gonna have to say 8.59 for these two, and the major issue being those janky bodies. 8.5 when I'm feeling particularly grumpy, a 9 on a good day. So we'll settle with a 9. But yeah, let down by the bodies, unfortunately, but still, I wouldn't change them. I think they are fantastic. I'm really pleased to have them in collection. So looking forward to doing the showcase at the end of this review. And so looking forward to setting up the 66 display with all of these guys in it. So that about wraps it up for this review, folks. I hope it's been useful for you. What is your take on Mars Toys Riddler, on the Riddler double pack? Do you have it already? Have you got it on pre-order? What's your take on Mars Toys? What's your take on the 66 Batman, the TV show, the movie? Anything at all, drop a comment in the comment section below. Nothing is off menu, and I'll be fascinated to hear your thoughts on this. And I suppose all that remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching from myself, from the Riddler, from the Joker, and from Batman and Robin. Take care of yourselves, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.